Hey, and welcome to all new Let's Play Might and Magic 6. All new in the sense that the Hippocat can now hear the actual game audio, which is a tremendous success and
Yeah,
improvement.
that's true, and it is completely amazing.
So, nope.
Oh, fuck you, Antroid.
Yeah. Actually, to this day I can decide if they yell yeah or very quickly yell get out.
Okay, now I cannot unhear get out.
Get out! Get out! Whatever. Today we actually, I looked at this and I noticed that we could use a bit of training, but when I did my scouting mission I found out that actually no, fuck that, we can beat Kriegspire, or Kriegspier, easily. So let's just do that and skip going to Pleasant Valley or whatever.
Kriegspier, is that dungeon you didn't want to go to?
No, that was Darkmoor. Come on, Hippocat. What's up with
I'm
you?
paying attention to what's going on. I don't remember what was in the previous episode. What do you want from me?
In the previous episode we fought some chickens and some floating ice.
No, I remember. Okay.
Okay, so today we are going... Actually, I seem to remember that there could be a stagecoach going from Freehaven to Kriegspier, so it'll be easier on our food supply. And while we're here, we might as well check out the freaking Mind Guild and see if they sell freaking cure insanity. Probably don't, because there's a book missing, which means they haven't updated their stock. Yep. Mother. Okay, so let's check out the stagecoaches. And I actually don't know how to pronounce Kriegspier. I think I read somewhere that it's like a German word. But this is an English game, so maybe even if the word is German, we still have to pronounce it by English rules. But I am so used to pronouncing it as Kriegspier that I don't want to change that. And I like how it sounds more than Kriegspire for some reason. And
Krieg, if it's spelled in the same way I think it is, that means war in German.
Yes, it's pretty much exactly that. So I guess it was just inspired, haha, by the word, because spire is clearly not a German word. It's just made to sound cooler, because we all know that some German words sound cooler than all the others, and there's a lot of horseshoes. Yes, this is how you spell Kriegspire, or Kriegspier.
Hitch up the horses.
Catch up the horses, or hitch up the horses, I guess, and we're just going straight up there, I think. There is nothing I can think of in this town for us to do, except maybe go and admire this obelisk, which does absolutely nothing and mystified me as a kid a whole lot. I think it's fair to say, because there are a ton of obelisks in the game that do something, but this one is just here for show. I don't know, maybe it has some historical significance in the context of the game's lore, because actually it does have a lot of lore about the castle, about everything, which we'll have to read when we enter it. Okay. I could just fly up there, but that's... Actually, yeah, that's just what I'm going to do. Even though, funny stuff here, the volcano is a bit higher than we can fly, so we'll have to kind of climb a bit at the top, but yeah, that's not... doesn't sound as funny when I say it. Let's just do it.
And what happens if you cast fly again when you are on the top of the volcano already?
Well, fly is still active, we just cannot ascend anymore over a certain height. So I'm pressing fly up and nothing happens here, I'm walking. And you can probably even hear the footstep sound.
Yes.
Isn't this just amazing?
Yeah, it's good to hear things.
Yep, and we are skipping those 5 or 4 Minotaurs and a couple of Earth Elementals, because they are noobs. Just going straight up. Castle Kriegspier! No longer apparently it used to rest between lakes, and so the volcano was actually made, according to this little snippet here, to prevent the creatures inside from escaping. The creatures inside being, of course, the Minotaurs, or Minotaurs. Yeah, how can we not know where we are? It said in the front what it was. And the Minotaurs were apparently also created by that guy Agar, which we just kinda killed in the last video. And a guy told me in the comments that he was actually a figure in the Heroes of Might Magic games 1 and 2. So we just killed someone very famous in this world. And the Minotaurs are actually kind of pathetic. I was afraid of them, and of course you don't remember, so I'm not even saying if you remember. But there was an instance in this game where we went into a dungeon, very early game dungeon. I think it was in the Bootleg Bay area, and among the monks and such weak enemies there was a lone big Minotaur guy, which we just had to pretty much exploit the AI to even stand a chance. And now it's just kinda whatever, we don't need magic.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of afraid about. When you're not doing anything, the sound volume is just fine. But when you're killing these Minotaurs, it's kinda loud.
Well, as expected, actually, I don't know, maybe it's a bit different somehow with us, because I can hear everything, well, you, when you say something, just fine over anything that happens. Also, obviously the editor, the level editor didn't have auto-align in that day and age when Might Magic 6 was made, so you see stuff like this. Kinda looks like, you know, a hidden password message. 4 birds. If you see 4 buttons that, like in Skyrim where you can switch the kind of pictures that they depict, just do 4 birds. Anyway, there was a chest. I can't believe I didn't open it immediately. Some money and some shit. Well, also horseshoes. Magic horseshoes. I don't know why there are horseshoes in chests in Kriegspire, but there are. I don't think this ring is actually pretty, well, any useful. Did I buy telekinesis?
The guys
Okay.
that live here are freaking Minotaurs, so maybe they would have some use for horseshoes.
Well, yeah, I guess hooves are hooves, so maybe they can put them on. Maybe that's some kind of a joke the game is making. I don't know. Actually, the Kriegspire castle has some really, just like I was saying about Castle Alamo, Kriegspire is a bit of an interesting architecture-wise dungeon, because there's a lot of small kind of bitty areas. I'm just shamelessly borrowing terms from other people. Really small details of architecture, I guess you could say, as opposed to pretty much just empty corridors that the rest of the game has. Anyway, there are these windows which are very handy for us to just pretty much cheat. Even though the Minotaurs actually are attempting some swings, it doesn't work. It's pathetic. Pathetic, utterly pathetic. But last time I made a mistake here when I was playing my scouting mission, because there are obviously some Minotaurs left here, and I just kinda ran in there to collect the corpses and was met with a resistance around the corner here. And it's about time we quick saved and quick loaded.
So much for you.
Yeah, so much for you. Bam. Okay, I remember some things about how this castle is laid out, so it shouldn't be very hard to beat in a reasonable time, plus it isn't very large, so it's gonna go pretty well. Okay, there's a berry in this bucket. Very useful at this stage of the game. Also, these bars, for future reference, we are going to hit a switch at some point that will open them, or more accurately, which will activate a hidden tripwire or something that opens them when we come close, because now they don't open, but they will at some point in the future. Okay, where didn't I go? Here on the map there is... Well, on the map there is exactly what we can see with our own eyes. This little bench thing, which does absolutely nothing. I have no idea why it is here. I suppose if we are tired we can sit on it, but... Even the status affliction weak, it's in the game, but it doesn't work like that. We can just sit on a bench and be cured of it. Okay, the door won't budge. Ah yes, this probably opens from the other side. And this is the kind of thing I was talking about. Where else in this game can you see stuff like this? These little windows with bars. It's just way too detailed for this game. Also, wow, they can actually hit us from there. Those are Minotaur Kings. They can point a finger at us and say die, and we may die because of that, because they have this spell.
Holy shit.
Finger of Death. Well, but it even at Master it's like just 5% per skill, so 25%. Each one of 4 people this guy points a finger at and says die is going to die. That's a cool power.
Yeah, that's a really cool power. I mean, how the hell
Yeah,
the
man.
world in Might and Magic is still standing if there is such power available to just whoever wishes to learn it?
That's a very good question actually, but I guess, well, yeah, I always ask the same thing about a lot of monsters roaming around and a lot of powerful magic, not just in Might and Magic games, in the fantasy universes in general, because magic seems to be way more useful than people realize in those games usually. And mages should be just like, I mean, they should be bossing everyone around because they can do a lot of things very easily, which normal people have to settle for, like tools and shit. But in this case, even though we start the game at level 1 and utterly pathetic and probably could be killed by a peasant or two, it is implied in the intro movie that we were in fact trained by a very powerful warlock before actually starting our adventure. The intro movie featured us in our home village of Sweetwater, which was attacked by the demons. Us standing off, actually looking nothing like we do right now. Some of us have had sex changes, and we were standing off against the demons and the one dragon. And then, wow, this is amazing.
What the hell am I looking at?
I think it's a torch. I think it's the backside of a torch. Let's just kill this Minotaur King blindly, and then we'll see what you are looking at.
Oops.
Okay, nothing's happening anymore. Yeah, I think this was this torch. Okay. I could probably hear Minotaur King saying "duh" a couple times.
Yeah.
Well, isn't this just the biggest enhance to your experience you ever imagined?
Yes, it is.
So yeah, and as I was saying, that wizard, I think his name was Falagar, he trained us for a lot of time to bring us up to level 1, so that we can take on this adventure. I don't know how it makes sense, or why the guy Wilbur Hodney, who represented the letters that we found in a goblin camp, blah blah blah. Basically it was evidence of what happened to King Roland, who went on a mission to kill the demons. Why?
Hey, why are your guys suddenly derpy?
You asked this before. It's because the spell haste wore out, and when it wears out,
I
we get
remember
weak.
now.
Yep.
You see, just in the beginning of every episode, I guess you should make a list with the questions that I ask every time and just answer them in advance.
Ah, this will be useful.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe to sell it will be useful.
Ah, this will be useful.
Crossbow of ice. Let's see actually how this fares. 8, 5 to 2, 8, and this kinda sucks. So, sell. But I'm loving these chests because they would be impossible to open actually in this position, realistically.
Maybe the front side opens, how do you know? It's a fantasy
Well,
chest.
Well, actually, yeah, it's very possible that the front side actually opens. But if this was Minecraft, which we all know is the standard for realism and this kind of things, in Minecraft it wouldn't open. So that's why I'm saying that this is not how stuff works. And yeah, last time, well, maybe second to last time, we found out that actually Cure Weakness doesn't affect the whole party when cast. And fuck if I'm gonna cast it 4 times, that's just too annoying. Also, I wonder why there are so many scrolls of raised dead in this castle. I wonder why. Maybe because there's someone who can kill us.
No, probably just a coincidence.
Yes, exactly. Just like in the temple with the Medusas, there were a lot of scrolls of stone to flesh. Exactly the same thing here. Earlier today, actually, when talking to some guy whose name I cannot remember because there's a lot of numbers in it, I called this exact situation when in old Might Magic games they put scrolls where we can use them, a bit of a modern kind of game design. This chest is dangerous, so I'm going to use the spell that I just taught this guy in the beginning of the video. Telekinesis. We get a jeweled egg. There is apparently something really interesting, but we cannot we are just too dumb to open it. And well, it is for a quest. Someone in the very village of Kriegspier, which we were in at the before going in the castle, someone wanted it. I don't know what's the history. I haven't read the text, the quest text very thoroughly. And here is a totally useless part. We can't even jump out here. I don't know why this exists, but that part of the on the map confused me last time at least quite often, because it makes it look like we can go there in those 2 rooms, and there's actually 4 rooms which we are never going to go into.
And why was the ceiling white? Was it supposed to be like sky or what?
No, it was just marble. We'll get back there, you'll see it again. It was just a marble texture, very, very bright marble texture. Also, that blue dot there on the map to the north of right here really makes me think that there's a hidden passage somewhere, but I have faith that there's just going to be another floor of this dungeon where that item is at, so I'm just going to ignore that. And maybe, well, nah, fuck it. I'm not going to go out and rest. We are, with the exception of Guerno, pretty healthy. Did we go? Yes, we collected everything here. And okay, these rooms. Let me just show you what happens in these rooms. There's 4 of them. We can only see 3 on the minimap, but suddenly everyone kills me. And no, I'm just not going to bother with that, because fuck you, I'm not. That's ridiculous. I don't know why they decided to make it like that, ambush or something. And there is the marble ceiling.
Okay.
Actually, sometimes in dungeons they do like skies, and the skies are actually usually the color nothing like it ever happens in game. I remember in the dungeon Garrick's Forge, which was a volcano, where we fought a couple of warlocks and fire elementals. The sky texture that was displayed was a texture of like a rock wall with the veins of either ore or, I don't know, lava or something. And I had no idea what it was supposed to represent weather-wise, and I still don't. But that was kinda interesting, I guess. Maybe it was like ash clouds and sunset kind of sky peeking through them, because we were in a volcano. Another one. There's 2 volcanoes at least in this game. Looking out of the crater or whatever it's called.
Is this that copyright infringing music track playing right now?
Yep. I read it mentioned somewhere. Well, I was reading a lot of stuff about Might Magic last couple of weeks, so I don't remember actually where, but when someone was mentioning a soundtrack to this game, and they did mention that it was like a bone-chilling rendition of some blah blah famous classical music piece, which I don't remember, because I don't remember the names of any of them except for Moonlit Sonata. Let's go and rest a bit, because this is getting...
If it's classical, how come someone owns the rights to it?
I think they don't. That's bullshit. They really like, I don't know, pretending that they own something and issuing copyright issues when they actually don't have legal ground to do so. And YouTube, I don't think it ever actually looks into it, because there's just too much of it. So, well, it's basically like that law that they, I don't know if they accepted it or not in Russia here, which basically it's Russian ASOPA, which states that if there's a link on your site to a copyrighted material, the owner of that copyright can complain and your site will be closed. So, if you don't like a site, go in the comments section and post links to torrents. It's that easy. Creator of Kriegspier here. Do you think, looking at this, that this is something that anyone ever does in this castle? Pay 10,000 gold to be healed?
Probably not. And it might be a trap. Most likely.
I don't think it's a trap. Let's test it out. Yes. No, it's not a trap. It's just a ripoff. Complete ripoff.
Well, still, I wouldn't trust a skeleton-looking guy.
In a lot of skulls, yeah, but apparently he's trustworthy. And there's 2 of them in this castle, actually. and the other one is even a bigger ripoff than this one. Also, this part here and the similar parts in this corridor really threw me for a loop when I was doing my scouting mission, because as you see the texture is vastly different. It's just some slits here, I don't know, windows or something, that it does look like a secret door, doesn't it? It's, well, maybe you can't see it that well. Is the Skype screen thing quality nice enough this time?
Okay, Antroid, I'm having some really bullshit lags right now.
Your sound quality also decreased, so maybe, well, Skype just is having a bad second here. While you're having the lag, this is the best moment to look into this room. What do you think of this room, Hippocat?
What the hell are those guys? Oh, okay.
We are going to kill them all today. That's
good.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Actually, if I remember correctly, it's best in this situation to just kind of jump down here, because there's a lot of these guys, which would be annoying otherwise, and run and run and run. In some corner here there's an escape tunnel, so we can lure people here and kill them more easily. Yeah, this wooden escape tunnel, which is a good place to hide from dragons, obviously.
Fixed.
Also fix the ring. The dragon breath attack broke our ring, but otherwise we are pretty much unharmed.
Oops.
Okay, this is uncomfortable. Detail toggle, where? Oh, okay. I don't want any more detail there. Shrapnel. Just kind of stab him. Shrapnel. Shrapnel is basically a super shotgun to our Sparks shotgun, but it's much more expensive. So I'm only using it on...
And it sounds like firing a gun, actually.
Well, yeah, it's... well, shrapnel, it's shrapnel, so I don't know. The process by which the pieces of shrapnel are conjured up may be somewhat similar in effect. Maybe we'll get a chance to actually, yes, let's just cast it in a more open area so we can maybe catch a glimpse of how they look. Well, shurikens, more or less. So, time for a bit of a tedious camping trip here. And by camping, I'm of course meaning video game sense.
Got that one. Oops.
Also a good time to reload the music, because it was about to end.
Oops.
Oops, right. Like you are in any way sorry for what you do, Gulerna. Okay, there is also a bunch of drakes now here attacking us, which we can't even see. Oh! That was quick. I was just about to say, ironically, that the drakes are actually pretty pathetic, but then we show our nose for a second and get kinda killed, almost. But it is true, they are pretty pathetic when you just don't take on every single one of them in a room at once.
When you hide like a coward behind the corner.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
exactly. I'm glad you understand now. And see here, again, I'm walking here thinking that I'm going to get somewhere, but no, it's just that fucking corridor that doesn't go anywhere. Okay. Yeah, some people are going into that corridor, which is exactly what happened last time when I was playing this, and it's going to give us a bit of a strategic advantage. You say hiding like a coward, I'm saying being strategic. This is all this game is about. Being strategic. I am strangely tempted to use this curator, but I'm not going to do this, because even it's not very costly to just drop a beacon here and go to Freehaven for a second to heal fully in a temple. It's much cheaper, in fact. And yeah, this was the item that I was mentioning before that was giving me ideas. It's just a shitty killer club, not very killer. Okay, let's kill whoever dares come here. More chickens. I think this is the last we're going to see of the chickens in the game. I'm even actually surprised they're... Well, Minotaurs were apparently created by Agar, and so it kinda makes sense that they would be along with the chickens here, but, well, let's see. totally different just level.
Oops.
When he said, "Let's cross a bull and a man," he was right. He just hit the spot there. Much more successful, much better idea than crossing a chicken and a dinosaur. Damn it, flame drake, stop breaking stuff. Now it's my belt.
Fixed.
Ah yeah, I wanted to get my knight chainmail skill so he can put them on to fix them. But I forgot. Those dudes probably cannot even hit us. Those dudes can and will. Let's forget about this part of the temple for some time. Maybe we'll come back. Well, we'll certainly will come back later because there's a lot of cool loot beyond the drakes, which I am going to get. Dum-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum.
So are we going to get that crystal for the oracle here?
Yes, and actually I'm not sure, I seem to remember, but maybe near the beginning of the castle, if we stand close to some of the corner, we can probably hear the gentle humming that it emits. I'm not going to check unless I need to go there in the beginning before we get the crystal, but there is a place here certainly where you can hear it through the wall or something. That's not really very important or anything, but I just felt like mentioning that because that was cool when I was a kid. Okay.
So could you theoretically just run through the dungeon, avoiding most of the monsters, just grab it and teleport the fuck away?
Well, sure, but I'm not sure how successful I would be at avoiding the monsters, considering we have to...
Oops.
I don't remember where we have to go, and then we have to press a switch and go back and do stuff like that, basically backtracking. But maybe, yeah, after pressing the switch we could teleport away, then run from the beginning again. Yeah, we could skip a lot of stuff in this game. But if we do that, we're going to be under-leveled and under-equipped, I suppose, maybe.
Is there an actual, like, final boss in this game?
Yes, there actually is. I think it's the only Might Magic game, at least of the 3 good ones, 6, 7 and 8, that has a sort of a final boss. I think it even has like 2 final bosses, maybe. We'll see it later, but yeah, 7 doesn't, it just has a final dungeon, which is bullshit, and 8 also just has a final dungeon, and I think the best part is that in 8, when we go final dungeon, we beat it, climactic, but before we could finish the game completely, we have to go on a bit of a fetch quest, and then the ending happens. I think I played 8 a very long time ago, so I may be completely misremembering stuff, and it's going to be very exciting for me to actually play it when we are finished with 6, because I'm going to be remembering a lot of things. What? No, not cure disease, power cure. I'm going to be remembering a lot of things that just slipped my mind about that game. And I remember liking that game quite a lot. It's not very liked among the community. I think it's considered the weakest of the... well, before 9 came out. But I like it very much. The atmosphere is cool. Maybe it has to do with nostalgia again, but I think it's a very cool atmosphere. We'll just see it. Now that people can hear the music, it's certainly going to be even better, because the music is a big part of atmosphere. Especially in 8. Because the music is great. Yo yo yo.
Once again, I'm sleepy, so I'm not that much impressed by the music.
That may just be because you don't have a taste in music. Not just because you're sleepy, but I will accept that answer. Oh, freak, encounter. Oh no, it's 3 chickens, whatever shall I do?